Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a hospital. Oh, and by the way, if you like this building, feel free to check out the card system and the links below down in the description for my other various building tutorial playlists. If you like this one, odds are you'll like a lot of my other stuff as well. Moving on, if you want to make it, here's what you're going to need. You will need some block of quartz and some block of iron. Also, grab yourself some blue stained glass and some blue stained glass paint. Also grab white stained glass paint, grab black wool, and finally grab yourself some dark grey wool. And once you have each one of these materials right here, and once you've figured out where you want to make it, I'll be making it right here. You're going to want to kick off your hospital with a row of 6 quartz coming directly up from the floor. That's 6 quartz. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like that. What you then want to do is you want to take this 6th quartz block and you want to go right of it by 8. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then connect that 8th block all the way down to the ground like that to form an archway shape. Once you form that shape, you then want to take these top 2 corners of the archway and you want to extend them, coming towards you each by 8. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this left one as well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then just connect each one of those 8 blocks together, guys, and also connect each one of those 8 blocks down to the ground, like this. Perfect, guys, and that is exactly what you want. So, just to give you guys an idea, and it might be a little bit difficult to visualize it now, but the entrance to the hospital is actually going to be on the left here, and it's also going to be straight ahead here. So, just to give you an idea what the entrance will actually look like, let me just build a little bit of the entrance. I'll just build one of them. This is the entrance that, in my plans, is actually designed to go like straight to an elevator, and it actually takes you to each one of the individual floors. It's not a real elevator, by the way, guys. It's much more of a... Got to fill that top bit in with quartz. It's much more of an elevator masquerading as a staircase. Or a staircase masquerading as an elevator, I should say. But one of the entrances to the hospital is directly there, and then there is an identical one on the left here. So if you guys can visualize it, this is the front of the hospital, there's the entrance, left one's there. The reason that I'm making such a big deal out of this is because a lot of you guys like to know the positioning of these things, so you can figure out where to build them. So once you've got all of that taken care of, this is what you want to do next. Come to the front left-hand corner of your hospital, this block right here. From this block, you want to go left of it by 20 with your block of quartz. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Like that. You then want to take a sideways view to that row of 20, and you want to go left of this 20th block, guys, by 22. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Like so. You then want to take a sideways view to that 22nd block, and you want to go left of it by 28. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Oh my god, I got my lungs. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Like that. And what you then want to do is just connect this 28th block all the way back to the start of your hospital. And hopefully, if everything works out, you should end up with what is essentially a rectangle drawn on the floor. Like this. Perfect, guys. That is exactly what you're after. Once you have this shape on the floor, it's now time for us to start moulding the walls of the hospital a little bit, because that's where most of the effort goes into. So, what you now want to do, guys, is you want to come to the front of your hospital. Come to the front left-hand corner. On top of this front left-hand corner block, go up by 30. So that's going to be 30. 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Perfect. Once you have your row of 30 there, you then want to come to this part here. Can you guys remember this block? This one that we extended out right at the very beginning? Well, we now want to go up on top of this block here by 25. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. What you then want to do is take this 25th block and extend it, going all the way over to the left, to the left-hand side of what we've just made, and if everything has went correctly, you should end up with a big giant rectangular shape like this. So, the reason that we've done this first is because this is the benchmark for the rest of the hospital. This is how high the entire hospital will be, plus it's easier to fill it in this way. So, once you have your rectangular shape, what you then want to do is you want to add an additional layer of quartz inside that rectangle on the left and right hand side. You want to do 2 vertical rows of quartz on the left and right hand side of what you've just made. So you just want to end up with something that should look like this. You then want to take out your blue stained glass pane and move it closer to your block of quartz. It will be easier this way. Once you've done that, come down to the bottom left hand corner of your rectangular shape, and going right of this quartz block right here, do this sequence of blocks. Do 5 blue stained glass pane, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 block of quartz, then 5 blue stained glass pane, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 block of quartz, then 5 pane, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you want to end up with a pattern that should look like this. Now, once you've done that row once, you now want to do that 4 additional times on top of that first row. So that's going to be 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now all we have to do is add in the glass. So this is where the time is going to be used, guys. It's going to be stacking up glass, and it's going to be filling in walls. It's a pretty simple design. It's all very easy, except the only problem, of course, is that we've got to fill all of these walls, and there's a lot of glass involved. There's a few different materials, and it's not always straightforward to place this glass. It usually takes a while. So once you have added your 4 layers of the very same row on top of that first initial row, you then want to do a layer of a block of quartz on top of everything that you've made. Like this. Now, once you've done that once, believe it or not, we're going to do this very same thing 4 more times, guys, going up. We're just going to repeat this pattern over and over again. So, for the next row, going from left to right, we'll be doing 5 glass pane, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 block of quartz, 5 glass pane, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 block of quartz, 5 glass pane, like that. We're then going to be doing 4 more layers on top of that, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll be doing a layer of quartz on top of this as well. So we're just going to be repeating this very same pattern over and over and over again until we eventually reach the top, which is why we kind of made the top. Not only does it show us how tall this hospital is going to be, which is important to some of you guys, but it also lets you know once you've actually finished the recurring pattern. You know when enough is enough. So we've now added the 4 additional layers. We then want to add a layer of block of quartz directly on top, like that. And then we want to repeat the pattern over and over again, guys. So going from left to right, it's 5 glass pane, 1 block of quartz, 5 glass pane, 1 block of quartz, 5 glass pane, and then that's 4 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then, as you guys know, we've just got to fill in the glass, then the quartz, over and over and over again, guys, and that's exactly how it's going to work. And I don't think that I'm going to explain it anymore, guys, since this is going to be, I believe, the 3rd time that we've done this. Yeah, I think it'll actually be the 3rd time. So what we're now going to do is just talk about random stuff as we casually fill in this pattern, because it is quite time consuming, and there's only so much of place this block here, repeat the same thing over and over again that you guys can hear without going mental, and there's only so much of that I can say without going mental as well. So, what's going to happen next, guys? You might be wondering to yourselves, 1, 2, 3, 4, And 1, 2, 3, 4. What's going to be happening next, you might be wondering. So after we've finished repeating this pattern all the way to the top, once we finished like this left front bit of the hospital, we're then going to do the right front bit, which is really easy because it's basically just going to be filled in with quartz. And we're actually going to have to grab another material that I kind of forgot about. We're going to need some red wool, because on the front of the hospital, as you guys might have seen in the thumbnail, on the front of the hospital we have a big giant red plus to signify that it's a hospital. I've never seen a hospital that actually has that pattern, like a big giant red plus on the front of it, but I'm sure that that they exist, and it does let you know quite quickly what you're dealing with. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're reaching the top now, guys. We've just got one layer of this left. So yeah, we're going to fill in the front right bit after we finish this with quartz. Then we're going to superimpose the red wool plus over the top of the right hand bit. I'll show you guys where that goes. And then we'll move on to the other sides, and the other sides are, you know, kind of as simple as this one. The other sides, in a lot of ways, are just repeating patterns over and over again. So, let me just show you what we should have made here. So, once you eventually get to the top of the left bit here, you should be left with something that should look exactly like that. It's really, really simple, guys. Now, once you've taken care of the front left bit of the hospital, it's now time for us to do the front right bit. So, what do we want to do? Come to the front right hand corner of the hospital, this top bit. Raise up this corner until it is as high as the hospital itself, which you guys know is just on the left of you, so you can just use that to measure it. You then want to connect it all the way over to the left hand side of the hospital like that, forming a rectangular shape. You then want to then fill that rectangular shape that you formed in with quartz blocks. So you just want to completely fill this shape that you've made in with quartz. There's nothing difficult about this whatsoever, guys. Once you've filled it in with quartz, we're then going to grab, I'm getting ahead of myself since we've not actually done this, we're then going to grab our red wool, and then we're going to put a big giant red plus on this. So that is it filled in. We're now going to grab our red wool, boom. We then want to take out our red wool, and once this has been completely filled in, guys, this right hand section, come all the way up to the top right hand corner of the hospital, this block right here. Count in and come left by 5, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What you then want to do, guys, is you want to come down by a further 5, so that's going to be, we were on this block here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what we then want to do is on this 6th block here, so you're on the 5th block, you then go down to the 6th, place a red wool, then a red wool to the right of that red wool, then go down from each one of these red wools by 5 again, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the other one as well. Then extend the 2 middle blocks coming out of the left and right, each by 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, whoops, 1, 2, and 1, 2. Now, that might have been a very poor explanation of that, because I was kind of trying to count blocks as I was looking at it, but you should hopefully be able to see from this, since you can actually see the quartz blocks, the separation between them, you should be able to see where this goes. And once you have placed your big red plus, you should end up with something that will look exactly like this. Perfect. Now you know it's a hospital. Once you've reached this point right here, this is what you're going to do next, guys. So I guess that we'll follow this hospital around clockwise. I guess that's exactly what we're going to do, guys. So come all the way over to the left-hand side of your hospital once you've completed the front. What you then want to do is you want to come to this back right-hand corner of the hospital, which is this one right here, and go up on top of this block by 30. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. What you then want to do is connect that 30th block all the way to the front of the hospital, like this. Bam, and you should connect with the front left-hand corner of it. What you then want to do, in the exact same manner that we did on the front of the hospital, you now want to add a vertical row of quartz on the left and right-hand side, on the inside coming up. So you just kind of want to bolster the left and right-hand side of what you've just made by one row, like this. What we now want to do is a repeatable pattern, so you're going to want to do yourself a favour and move the blue stained glass, the regular stuff, and the quartz and the block of iron all next to each other in a row of 3, like that. Once you've arranged your materials, you then want to come down to the bottom left-hand corner of your hospital, and going right of this quartz block that we have right here, you want to do this sequence of blocks. Do 2 blue stained glass, 1 block of iron, 2 glass, 2 quartz, 2 glass, 1 iron, 2 glass, 2 quartz, 2 glass, 1 iron, 2 glass, and you should end up with a pattern that should look exactly like this. Become familiar with this pattern, guys. It's going to become your friend or your enemy. What you then want to do, once you've done this row once, you now want to do the exact same row directly on top of the row that you've just made. So you just want to add an additional layer directly on top of this row, guys. So you want to end up with something that should look like this. You then want to do a layer of block of quartz directly on top of that row. So just stack a layer of quartz directly on top of that row, like that. What you then want to do, guys, for the next row is, you might have guessed it, we're going to be following the exact same pattern that we did just before we did the quartz. So we're now going to do 2 blue glass, 1 iron, 2 glass, 2 quartz, 2 glass, 1 iron, 2 glass, 2 quartz, 2 glass, 1 iron, 2 glass, and then we want to stack an additional layer on top of that row. And then after that row, guys, we're then going to add a layer of quartz, and then we're going to start the pattern again, guys. And it is going to go like this. As you guys might be able to see, it kind of looks like Christmas presents or just regular presents. And it's going to go like this over and over and over again, guys, until we eventually reach the top of the hospital. You'll know once you've finished. So we're now just going to repeat the same pattern over and over again, guys. And I don't really feel the need to repeat that pattern to you over and over again, because you can actually quite literally see what you've got to do directly below you. You can literally just look directly down and you can see the exact same pattern that you've got to follow over and over and over again. So it's just 2 rows of the glass, iron, quartz combo, and then it's a layer of quartz. And then it's the same thing over and over again. And I think that we should probably stop talking about that. So this side's actually very simple. The back is actually identical to the front, so that's not going to be difficult at all. And the side is actually, the other side, the opposite side, is actually very similar to this, except we've kind of got a little problem in which the entrance is in the way. So once we've actually completed this side, this is where I'm going, once we've actually completed this side, everything else is going to be really, really easy, because it's just going to be like, it's just going to be amalgamations of what we've already done before, so it's going to be really, really simple. And I know that this is somewhat repetitive and slightly boring, guys. Trust me. Trust me, I know. I had to build this hospital a couple of times. I didn't get it right on the first time. I got like the scaling of the windows wrong, so that the floors didn't work out properly on the inside. That's the thing. I've kind of done the inside of the hospital, but kind of not. I've kind of separated the hospital, and it kind of has the layout of what I think is kind of like a regular hospital, except I've not really furnished it, and I don't really feel like furnishing it, because I spent like a couple of hours building this thing yesterday, and well, I guess I'll show you guys at the end of this, but it's actually kind of cool. Like, this thing is actually laid out like a proper hospital. It looks really, really cool on the inside. I mean, it even has an elevator, except it's not an elevator. It kind of looks like one, but then you walk into it and it turns into a staircase, and I don't know, it's got a helipad as well. I put one of those on top. It's kind of cool. I really like this building, and I like how easy it is to make as well. It's extremely simple. I don't know how far along we are with this. I think that we're only on like the 3rd layer, like are we even halfway? Yeah, we're reaching the top, so we've just got to keep repeating this. Then we'll move on to the back. We're kind of going clockwise around the building, and then we can move on to the final side. And then what do we have left to do after that? We've got to mess about with the roof a little bit, but not much. And we've also got to do the entrance just a little bit as well. And then, I suppose that'll be that, guys, once the sides are done. There's really not too much to this thing. Really isn't. And then I get to show you the original version of this, which is going to be fun, because I actually spent a lot of time doing it. Whilst this thing is simple, it is big, and as a result of it being big, whenever you want to do something to something that's big, it just takes a long time. Like, no matter how detailed it is, no matter how simple it is, everything takes a really long time if you're doing it to really detailed things, so... or really big things, I should say, not really detailed things. So we've just about reached the top here, which is really good for us. We can then move on to the back, as I keep saying, and we just have to do one more layer of the pattern, and then we are good, guys. So let's take a look at this thing, and let's see how we've done. So this is what the side of your hospital wants to look like, guys, and this is perfect. It kind of looks cool, doesn't it? It's simple, but it's cool. I mean, if you don't want to, you don't even have to involve the block of iron, although I quite like it. Once you've completed this side, guys, once you have fully completed this side, and obviously pause this if necessary, if you're still working on any of that, of course, we can now move on to the next bit, which is going to be the back of the hospital. So, once you've got those two sides taken care of, come all the way around to the back of your hospital. And what you want to do, starting from the bottom right hand side here, you want to, on top of this second quartz block on the back, you want to do a layer of quartz coming all the way up the side of the hospital. So you just want to add an additional layer of quartz coming up the side. You can then return it back down to the bottom, and on top of this block going left, do this sequence of blocks. Do 5 blue stained glass pane, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then 1 block of quartz, 5 glass pane, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 block of quartz, 5 glass pane, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 1 block of quartz. What you then want to do, guys, once you have that pattern sorted out, is you want to take this last block of quartz, raise it up so it is roughly as high as the hospital. You don't really have to count it out. You can if you want to. It'll be a row of 30, but just use the rest of the hospital to measure it. And once you've done that, just connect it all the way over to the right-hand side of the back. So you just end up with a rectangular shape like this. And it just makes everything easier, guys. It lets us know when we've finished, and it just lets us know how far to go. It's just easier this way. Once you've done that, you then want to move your blue stained glass pane closer to your quartz. Come all the way down to the bottom, and you guys might be able to see how this is going to go. As a matter of fact, it's kind of directly in front of us. So, on top of this layer of glass and quartz that we've made, we now want to stack 4 additional layers of the very same on top of it. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And once we've done the 4 additional layers, guys, as you might know, we're then going to be doing a layer of quartz directly on top of this, and then we'll be repeating the pattern over and over and over again until we eventually reach the top. Like I said when we were on the previous wall, this is just a repetition of the front of the hospital. We've even got the same like quartz alcove that you guys can see on the left there. I suppose it's not an alcove. An alcove implies kind of like a cave or like something that's kind of like concave. And then we just repeat this pattern, by the way, guys, once we've done the layer of quartz. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 quartz, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 quartz, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then 4 on top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 1, 2, 3, 4. So as I was trying to explain in a really roundabout and stupid way using words that I just kind of picked straight out of my mind without thinking, is the back of this hospital is actually identical to the front of the hospital in every way, shape and form, except of course for the fact that there is no entrance on the back. That's the only difference. So we've actually finished filling in this layer again, so we then just add the layer of quartz. Then we do the pattern 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we add 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. I find as though that I mess up like patterns and stuff if I try and do it whilst I'm talking. That's not really so much for your benefit as it is mine, just to make sure that I get the thing right. So once we've taken care of the back, we'll have but one wall left to do, which is very, very similar to the wall that we have on the right hand side of us now, except that we've got to alter it a little bit. So we've finished the pattern again. We're just adding the layer of quartz on top, and then starting from the right hand side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Quartz, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, quartz, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 4 quartz, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we just add the layers of glass. Almost sounds like a tune, like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quartz, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quartz. I don't know. I don't know why, but it sounds like some sort of tune. It's kind of like what is it? Oh my god! It's a Simpsons song that I just reminded myself of. It's like oh no! They're all dancing around the living room. Oh no! I've completely forgot the song, and now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quartz. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quartz. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, we're at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's it. It's the Simpsons when they're all going around like, you don't make friends with salad. You don't make friends with. That's what I was thinking of. That's the tune. I completely forgot about that. That was completely random, guys. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I think it's when Lisa's trying to become a vegetarian, and everybody starts doing the conga around the living room, and everybody's just like kind of dancing around Lisa. Even Marge gets involved, like, you don't make friends with salad. You don't. Yeah, okay. We'll stop that now. We'll stop that now. As harmonious and glorious as my voice is, we'll stop that. So, what you want to end up with on the back, and as you can see, it's just a mirrored version of what you have on the front. Perfect. Now, once you've done this section, we can then do the exact same thing that we did on the front to this back section as well. So, what you then want to do is come on top of this back corner of quartz, and you want to go up on top of it until it is equal height to the rest of the hospital like this, and then you just want to connect it to the back right hand side. Like that. And then what you want to do is just completely fill this section in with quartz. You'll make a quartz rectangular shape, and then you just want to completely fill it in. I'm kind of happy with myself that I remembered the tune. It would have drove me insane had I not remembered it. I'd still be thinking about it now. I'd be like, salad? 4, 5, 1. Do you guys ever do that? Do you guys ever just get to the point where I do this a lot. I forget music, I forget lyrics, I forget song titles, and it's just like the hook of a song, the catchy bit, is usually just stuck in my head for like days and days at a time, and it'll eventually click, and then I'll listen to the song, and then it's like, nah, didn't like it anyway, and it's like 3 days of effort wasted. But this is the back of your hotel. Kind of looks like a hotel. This is the back of your hospital, guys. I suppose a hospital kind of is a hotel for sick people. This is the back of your hospital, guys. If you're still working on that, pause that if necessary, of course. But if you have completed that, you can then move on to the fourth and final wall. So come all the way over to the fourth and final side of your hospital. What do you want to do here, guys? Well, you want to, first of all, take out your block of quartz, and you want to do a layer of block of quartz coming all the way up the right-hand side of this right-hand side of your hospital, and you want to do a layer of block of quartz that goes all the way up the left-hand side, or at least as far as you can do. You don't want to do anything to the entrance. As a matter of fact, you do, guys. I should point that out. You kind of want to extrapolate that down all the way to the ground like this. And whilst you're here... No, actually, that's built in, never mind. So you just want to, the layer of quartz that you did on the left-hand side, you want it to go all the way down to the ground, so straight through the entrance down to the ground. And you can also connect the top of the hospital together as well, so just connect it top block to top block, front to back, like this. So, what we're going to do now, guys, so come all the way down to this kind of like half bit that we have down at the bottom of the hospital. So, go on top of this block, and going right, do this sequence of blocks. Do 2 glass, 1 iron, 2 glass, 2 quartz, 2 glass, 1 iron, to glass, like that. That pattern might seem familiar with you. As a matter of fact, it's in the exact same row as it is on the opposite side of us. And once you've done this row once, you then want to do the exact same row directly on top of it. So, 2 glass, 1 iron, 2 glass, 2 quartz, 2 glass, 1 iron, 2 glass. You then want to do a layer of quartz on top of that, like so. Then, on top of that, you want to repeat the pattern again. So, starting from the left-hand side, we want to do 2 glass, 1 iron, 2 glass, 2 quartz, 2 glass, 1 iron, 2 glass. And then do the exact same thing for the next row. And you guys might be able to see what will come after. Once you've done that second layer of like the repetition of the pattern, what you can then do is you can then do a layer of quartz that kind of goes all the way from the left hand side of the hospital all the way over to the right hand side of the hospital, like that. And then we can just resume building exactly how we did on the opposite side. So now we can come all the way up to the left hand side here, and going right of this quartz block, we then want to do the exact same pattern that we know and love. So it'll be 2 glass, 1 iron, 2 glass, 2 quartz, 2 glass, 1 iron, 2 glass, 2 quartz, 2 glass, 1 iron, 2 glass. And of course, on top of that layer, you want to add an additional layer, and after that, we will add a layer of block of quartz. So, on top of that second layer, we then add the quartz, and then we just do the pattern over and over again. So starting from the right hand side, it doesn't really matter which side you do it from, obviously, because this one's really simple. You can still see the pattern that you're supposed to follow directly below you. And we've already done this once, guys. We already spent an entire, I don't know, it must have been, wrong material. It must have been like 10 minutes doing that opposite side, that opposite wall to us. So I'm sure that you're very familiar with this pattern and you know what you've got to do. So we're just going to fill this in. Then after we have filled this wall in, guys, we're then going to focus on the entrance. We're then going to go all the way up to the roof. And then the structural aspect of this will be completed, and then we can take a look at my original one, can't we, guys? And we can see what you might want to do to the inside and outside of it to make it look a little bit more like a... What material am I using here? That should be iron. What am I like? And then we can see what we can do to the rest of the hospital to make it look a little bit more like a hospital. Like, for instance, on my original, like I've got like a proper road going around, I've got an ambulance bay, I've got a couple of parking spots, I've got like a proper kind of like new agey looking entrance that goes all the way up to the hospital. I've got a helipad on the roof. It's kind of cool. It looks quite nice, and I really am quite happy with how it turned out. You guys will see. I should probably stop talking about it. I don't want to ruin it. So we're just filling in this side as we usually do. This is the worst part of any tutorial for me. I hate having to just do the same thing because there's nothing for me to talk about. I absolutely hate this, and then I've got to come up with a random subject. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to talk about. You guys back at school yet? Summer, just in case you guys aren't sure whenever you watch this, this is currently September the 5th, I believe. It's kind of weird, like, I kind of know when you guys are on and off school. Most of my demographic are kind of like young schoolgoers. I kind of know when you guys are on and off school. It's reflected in the subs and the views and stuff, but it's so absolutely random. Like, I get a lot of fans on Twitter, like some Norwegian fans. They go back in August, like parts of America. You guys go back in August as well. Sometimes you're off until September. Sometimes you go back in like July. Sometimes you've already had summer. It's kind of weird. It's so strange how it works out, because I mean, I guess you don't really think about it. Like, you only think about your summer because you're looking forward to it. Like, there's a weird squeaking sound in this noise. I'm like 100% positive that there's like a bird in the attic. I feel as I'm gonna have to kill a bird. I'm almost sure of it. I don't want to kill a bird. I don't like harming animals for some reason. For some reason, as if I'm supposed to like harming animals. A lot of people, you know, they wouldn't think twice about it. I don't particularly like animal cruelty. It's not one of my favourites. And I feel as though that to stop this chirping in my room, I'm gonna have to kill a baby bird or something. That's the last thing that I want to do, or transport it outside. But that is the final side of the hospital, guys. And as you can see, it's pretty much identical to the opposite side of the hospital, except of course we've got that little chunk cut out of it in the bottom left hand corner. And so once you've got that fourth and final side of the hospital taken care of, guys, it's now time for us to move all the way down to the entrance. So the entrance is, this opposite entrance is actually identical to the one that we've already made. So if you guys happen to do that whilst I did that right at the beginning of this tutorial, you might just want to copy what you've already done onto this left hand wall. And let me just do it for you guys anyway. Let me just build what's supposed to be built here. So we've got this here and here. It's a little tricky with the quartz, but just to show you, the opposite entrance should look exactly like that. Very, very simple, really. You guys should be able to just figure out what I've done there just by looking at it. Now, once you've got that taken care of, this is what you want to do next. So, we now want to just add an additional layer of quartz right on this side of the hospital. Can you guys see? The side that we were last working on, you just want to add an additional layer of quartz right here. Trust me, it makes it look a little better. It works a little bit better with the pattern. And do we have to do anything on the front as well? On the front, you might be able to see that we also want to add a layer of quartz here on the front. Again, it just works a little bit better with the pattern, as you guys might be able to see. So add all of the necessary quartz vertical rows that you can see that we've just added there. That actually gives you a perfect view of it. And once you've done that, you've actually done everything that needs to be done around the entrance. What we now want to do is come all the way up to the top of the hospital, and I suppose that this is the last thing that we have to do structure-wise. We have to completely fill in the roof. And once we have completely filled in the roof, guys, we are then going to take out our quartz slabs, which I completely forgot about, and we're going to go around the top of the roof with the quartz slabs. That's what's next on the agenda, guys. So once we've completely filled in the top of this, we then have to fill in the outskirts of the roof with quartz slabs. I cannot believe that it took me that long to grab that word, and this is probably going to take a little while, guys. It always does, filling in rows and stuff. So the chirping that I mentioned earlier has stopped. I'm going to have to go up into my attic. Have you guys ever had this problem? I've known a couple of people with this problem. I'm not exactly sure how they do it, but birds have a habit of like breaking in to your roof. They have a habit of getting into the attic, and I'm almost positive that one has broken into mine, and it's really difficult to get into. Do you guys know what a lobby hole is? Or I suppose it's a closet. I have a closet, and in that closet, like in the roof of it, that is the entrance to get up into the attic. And I'm 90% positive that there is some living animal up there, and I really don't want to fight it to the death. I really don't. I'm pretty sure I'll win. 90% positive that me versus a bird I win, but I just don't wanna. I really don't want to. It's not because I can't be bothered or anything like that. I don't really like hurting animals. I don't want to do that, so I'd really appreciate it if it could just fly away. And I'm pretty sure that it's the wrong season for it anyway, but it sounds like a baby bird. I had to guess. It doesn't sound like really like a healthy bird. I'm like 90% sure. It was happening last night. It's either that or my Xbox has just suddenly started making noises which has made it join the aviation family. Like, I'm not sure. I would just like it to stop. I thought that you guys might like to know that, because it's kind of distracting. Like, it's happened in a couple of tutorials. I'll just start hearing like this kind of like squeaking sound. It's like, oh great, what is that? It's somebody walking up my stairs with an axe? No, I'm pretty sure it's a bird in my attic. Let me know if you've ever experienced that, guys. What should I do about this? What should I do about it? Anyway, so once you have completely filled in your roof, which went significantly faster than I thought it would, you then want to grab some quartz slabs, which we forgot at the beginning of the tutorial, along with the red wall. I'm not informed today. And you then, with your quartz slabs, you want to go all the way around the top of your hotel. So just go all the way around the top of the edge of your hotel with your quartz slabs. So just trace all the way around, trace all the way around the top of your hotel. And the reason that we're placing these up here, by the way, is because the roof is actually going to be accessible, and I didn't want to put glass around the roof, and I wanted to make it a little harder to fall off of the roof, so I figured I'd put some quartz up here. Plus it makes it look a little bit better, doesn't it? It kind of makes it look like a little bit more of a roof. And once you've done that, guys, you've actually 100% fully completed the structure of your hospital, and that's pretty good, doesn't it? Kind of looks like a proper hospital, kind of like a comedy hospital with the big giant red plus on it, but a hospital nonetheless. Now, what I'm going to do, guys, I'm not going to do this on recording, but I am going to go away and I'm going to show you my original version of this hospital. I'll show you where the floors are supposed to go, I'll show you how it's kind of laid out, and I'll give you kind of an idea what you can do with this thing if you really wanted to invest more time into it. So, this is the original version of the hospital. This is just plain. If you want the building, you'll stop the tutorial here, but what's coming up next, I'm going to show you the original version, and I'm not going to show you how to do any of it, I'm just going to show you what it can look like. So I'll be back in just a moment. So this is the original version of my hospital, guys. As you can see, the outside of it has been renovated quite a bit, but the inside has had a lot done to it as well. Let's start there. So, coming to the entrance of the hospital, I just want to point out that here, just underneath this overhang that leads into the entrance of the hospital, I've placed glowstone, and there is room for it as well. Like, there's an alcove up here naturally, which I decided to utilize and make this thing nice and bright. So you have two entrances into the hospital. This left one kind of takes us into like a waiting room / where you sign in, and this right one, this one in front of us here, takes us to like an elevator. This is supposed to look like an elevator. You walk in here and it's actually like a staircase masquerading as an elevator, and this takes us into each one of the individual levels of the hospital. So we'll start with this bottom floor first of all, since this is kind of unique. So we'll come through this actual entrance. So this is the actual entrance to it. This is kind of like a waiting room. This is a very, very simple version of it, guys. Like, this is pretty much just the layout. I haven't really furnished this. This is just to give you guys a bit of an idea. So this is kind of like a waiting room that we come to right away. You know how in hospitals, like, you have to go and sign in at a desk? This is where like a nurse would stand, or like administration staff or what have you. Like, they'd sign you in, you'd go and wait, then you'd see a doctor. Here we have, this is actually supposed to be like a, what do you call it? Like is it a confectionery? You know, like where you buy stuff in a hospital? A gift shop. It's kind of like a gift shop in a hospital. Like, you know, they sell magazines, they'd sell like pop, and they'd sell crisps and stuff, and flowers, stuff that you could buy to make patients feel better. That's what this little area is carved out to be. Obviously, there should be a counter, and there should be like rows and rows of stuff that you can buy. But again, like I said, guys, this isn't really furnished. It's more just like it's just the layout of it. If you guys want to mess about with it a little more, you can. So this is like the sign-in desk. This is like the gift shop sort of area, and then moving on up to get to the second floor. I've already showed you, we walk through this elevator and we come all the way up these stairs onto the second floor now. Now, the second floor is kind of like where you would keep all of the patients, and ignore that hole in the floor. I was actually using that whilst I was building it, and I actually completely forgot about it because there are so many floors. So this second floor is actually like where you would keep the patients. Like, these are each individual rooms. Like, obviously you'd have a bed in here, and you'd have other kinds of medical equipment. You might even have like a TV. You might have like a couple of sofas or chairs or what have you, so people visiting you can, kind of come and see you and have a good time. And, well, have a good time in the hospital, that kind of sounds like an oxymoron, but you guys get the idea. And we've got 3 each individual rooms, which are, varying degrees of lit up. I didn't really spend too much time on lighting. And then, actually, guys, I suppose this is kind of like where my ideas ran out. The other floors, and I believe that there's 3 more floors like this, are actually all identical, because I kind of like ran out of ideas. What can I actually put? I did have an idea that I could add like a surgery to one of these floors. Like, I could actually add like an operating room. I thought that might have been kind of cool. And if you wanted to, you could like turn one of these floors into like a clinic floor. Like, you know how sometimes you're rushed in right away and you're like thrown on a bed? Like, if you've got a broken arm, they kind of like set it and stuff. Like, you could turn one of these floors into that. But just for the purpose of easiness, I mean, what I've just talked about, like, the ideas that I've talked about, are going to be for those of you that really, really want it. Like, if you want, you could have, like, a couple of floors of, like, these bedrooms and stuff, and, like, these individual patient rooms, but if you wanted to take it that extra mile, like I said, you could have, like, a surgery on one floor. Like, you could put on, like, the top floor here, you could, like, have like, a whole surgery, like, an operating room, like a sterilization room and stuff. That'd be really cool. I almost considered doing it, but I didn't want to ruin it for you guys. But as you can see, it's a pretty functional. The layout is actually pretty good. I mean, the only thing it is really missing, in my opinion, is it's missing the surgery, which I considered putting at the top. But we've actually reached the top floor here, and here we have a helipad, a very, very poorly laid out helipad, but a helipad nonetheless. A very Well, it's not even really circular, is it? It kind of looks more like a diamondish shape, I suppose. That's what that looks more like. But yeah, we even have a helipad on the roof. A lot of hospitals have those, just in case people have to be like air ambulanced in. That's pretty cool. And that's all of the floors, guys. I mean, I haven't furnished them. I've just kind of laid them out. But I think that it has a lot of potential. I mean, the layout is such that you could do absolutely whatever you wanted to any one of these floors. Like, if you keep this hallway right here, and then you, like, completely knock out this area, like, you could very easily add anything that you want into each one of these individual floors, and I think it would look really, really cool. But that's for somebody that, you know, wants to put a little bit more effort in. I'm just showing you how to make the base of the hospital. And if you guys do that, feel free to message me on Twitter with your pictures if you've done that. Quite a few of you have done that with some of my builds, and I really enjoy seeing what you do with them. But that's the inside of the hospital, guys. Let's take a look at the outside of the hospital. So, for the outside of the hospital, here we have some parking spaces here. Usually have some of those around the hospital. Here we have kind of like an entrance sort of thing, like where you'd walk. You don't want cars rolling around. Here we have like an ambulance bay, or at least that's kind of why it is in my head. And then we've just kind of got a road going all the way around. I mean, I don't know if you want a closer look at this, just so that you can kind of like count out the amount of blocks that like some of these parking bays would be and stuff. But if you want to know, like from the hospital, I cut out a layer of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like, I cut out a row of 7 all the way around the hospital. Like that, I went all the way around, and that is what I kind of like used for the outer part of this. Like, this is 7 blocks away from the hospital, as is the ambulance bay as well. And then for the road that I then did around everything that I've done, I cut out a further 7 blocks, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way around. And I feel as though it works pretty well, and you could expand this if you wanted to. If you wanted to make the like car park a lot bigger, if you wanted to add stuff around your hospital, you could. That's the whole point. Like, you can just keep going and going and going. It kind of depends on how much you really want to add to it. You could add more ambulance space, you could add stuff like that. So, that is the inside of the hospital, guys, and those are the interesting bits of the outside of the hospital as well, and I just think it looks really cool. I think that, especially considering the fact how easy this is, it has a lot of potential to turn into something that could just be absolutely insane if you did the right things to the interior. Like, the exterior is fine, but if you did the right things to the floors of the interior, this could be really, really, really cool. But I think that it's a great building anyway, so if you guys like it and you have managed to make it, I know that this tutorial has been a little bit wonky, guys. I don't know why. I've not been myself as of recently. I'd really appreciate it if you guys could give this a like, a favourite, a share, if you'd like to see me make some other different types of buildings. A lot of you guys are saying, I don't know why, but you want me to make a prison, you want me to make a fire station, a police station, stuff like that, and I'm more than willing to give it a go. Like, I didn't think that I'd be able to build a hospital, but after building this, I think that I've done a pretty decent job. So if you'd like me to try some other things, I'd really appreciate it if you could give me a like, a favourite, a share. Let me know that that is a good idea. Let me know that you want to see me build some stuff like that, and I'll get on it, because I think that I could make some really cool stuff. But if you guys don't like this, and it's all just me that's kind of like partial to this hospital because I built it, then, you know, just let me know. So, and what else is there, guys? Feel free to check out the card system and the links below down in the description for my various other building tutorials. If you like this, you will probably like a lot of the other things that I've made as well. Also, feel free to follow me on Twitter at TSMC360. If you do make this and you do some cool things to the interior of it, I'd love to see it. And I think that probably is about it, guys. So if you would like, favourite, share, and I will see you in the next video.